Hey guys, so today we're doing something completely different. So as you all already know, I have a huge love for this big open world game called Genshin Impact. And no, this is not a sponsored video at all. I've been playing this game for over 720 days, nearly over 2 years now. It's a vast game filled with so much beautiful music, lore, environment, and of course, the waifus. And today, we're doing this video where I will break down every single combat movement and skill and burst, similar to Bio Roxas' breakdown on Kingdom Hearts 3 form changes. So, be sure to check him out as a part of our inspiration. Today, we'll start with breaking down my favorite character in the game, Kamisato Ayaka, the distinguished daughter of the Kamisato clan. I'll be using her normal skin for showing purposes, cause I feel like a lot of people won't buy the skin. Anyways, let's start. Ayaka normal attack named Kamisato Art Kabuki can combo up to 5 consecutive strikes, with the third one dealing 3 times. Ayaka starts off her normal attack with a horizontal slash, before putting her sword above her head and does a diagonal slash. She then spins around with her left hand behind her and a sword facing downwards as she twirls and does another diagonal slash. She then stands still with her sword held on her left hand as she quickly moves towards the enemy and does 3 diagonal slashes, which each slashes putting her sword on her left hand again before she strikes. Her combo finisher has her putting her sword back into her left arm once more with the let's just say Inazuma style hilting, before she quickly dashes forward to the enemy as waves of blades surrounds her. It's really hard to see whether she slashes, but if you look closely enough, she at least pulls her sword out. At the end of her combo, Ayaka crouches and styles her sword back with the Inazuma hilting style before she stands up again. Her charge attack has her crouching slightly and putting back her sword into her hilt state, and it seems like she is charging it, before she releases a flurry of slashes into the enemy in front of her. Now, let's move on to her alternate sprint, Kamisato Art Senha. Ayaka sprints downwards as she transforms into a fog of ice, leaving behind a trail and shards of ice, ball of light, and snowflake. As the dash ends, Ayaka coats herself in light as shards of ice and snowflake came towards her before landing to the ground. The cold then condenses into her blade, making her attacks now cryo-infused with a certain amount of time. She can also use the sprint on water, and if you are close enough to the enemy, it will apply cryo to them. And with the second passive talent, you can gain 10 stamina and 18 cryo damage bonus. Now, let's move on to her elemental skill. Kamisato Art Hyoka starts off with Ayaka crouching as her feet pushes outwards fogs of ice, and another fog form into a big circle. A big cryo avatar also appeared beneath her. She then summons her fan as she positions herself crouching slightly with her fan behind her and her right hand in front. Shards of ice also seem to push outwards and appear on the end of the fog circle too. Ayaka then thrusts her hand into the air as winds of ice pushes outwards from the ground. You can also see snowflakes appear there too, along with what it seems particles of snow. At the end, the cryo avatar disappeared. Ayaka puts her fan in front of her as she closes it before it disappeared into thin air. Smaller enemies such as slimes and small hilichurls will get thrown into the air, while larger enemies such as Midachurls have a chance to get stunned for a moment. And if you unlock her second passive, her normal and charge attack will get increased damage by 30%. And finally, the star of the show, Kamisato Art Sometsu, her burst. Ayaka started off with what it looks like holding the blade of ice downwards and is different from her actual weapon. Any sword weapon actually. But it looks quite similar to the Ame no Makageuchi, which is her cannon weapon. Winds and this pattern of what it seems to be on her fan appear behind her. Snowflakes along with ice particles appear as well around here. The blade then slowly lifted as it disappears slowly into shards of ice and blades of ice wind pushes outwards. At the end, the blade turns into a flash of light as Ayaka summons her fan. Winds behind her stopped and a rainbow effect can be seen here. And finally, Sakura petals surrounds her as she moves her fan diagonally. A ring of light appeared here as shards of ice pushes outwards with the Sakura petal. The air around the swirl then condenses and another rainbow effect can be seen here. Big ice swirls can be seen around and finally form the Sakura swirl. The Sakura then will travel forward until it hits the enemy and stops until it blooms. The Sakura swirl itself has this spinning air that condenses into one place as blades of ice spawns encircling it. Sakura petals, snowflake, and ice particles can be seen around the swirl as it pushes out air towards the trajectory when first summoned. On the bloom, a light within a specific shape appeared as it condenses and disappears, while bigger blades of ice pushes outwards. For her idols, one of them starts off with Ayaka summoning her sword as she inspects it. She then spins and hides it with the Inuzuma-style hilt while saying,
"A blade embraces its duty, as a jeweler cherishes their gems."
Yeah, a little annoying, I know. And the other starts with Ayaka summoning her fan and putting it behind her face. She then hides it, and if you see closely, she actually smiles behind her fan, which I found really cute. And I guess that's really it for Ayaka now. I don't really feel like doing any kind of guide for her since there's already a ton of really good ones. So you should probably already know how to build her. But what I'm gonna tell you is what I think about her. So, a little backstory, I didn't really like this character at all until I actually played her story quest, where I immediately fell in love with her. And playing with her through trials made me fall in love with her playstyle a lot. It's swift and deadly, just how I like it. Though, to be completely honest, her normal attack is kind of lackluster and underwhelming, though her charge, skill, and burst is just beautiful. I also really like how strong she is in the meta. Most of my teams are made up of different characters, but whenever I use Ayaka Freeze, it always dominates the Abyss no matter what. Sadly, her pick rate now is much lower thanks to Dendro, but there is really nothing wrong with that, to be honest. She is still an absolute joy to play, and I hope you enjoy or learn something from this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please give a like and subscribe if you want to see more like this. And sorry for a lot of stuttering because this is my very first time doing this kind of video. And follow my socials and stuff below in the description. And I'll see you in the next video or the next breakdown, who knows.